Dinesh, we can't hear you.
I heard him. Please record this, okay, Dinesh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
started.
Namaste. Good evening to all the listeners out there. I welcome you all to this second episode of our series of Extraordinary in Ophthalmology. Today's extraordinary Nari is none other than Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy. All of you know her, but still it's my pleasure to introduce her to you all. So I just like to show a few slides on her. Are my slides visible? No, I don't think so. Okay.
Not yet, ma'am.
Yeah, I did it. 1 sec. No, the slides aren't visible, are they?
No,
No.
Not yet.
desktop is visible.
I'll just do it again. No, something is happening wrong. Something is going wrong here.
Ma'am, you can keep that folder open, so it will, when you share the slide, it will be visible.
I can just talk about her, but I would wanted to show her slides because she's taken such pains to. I'm sharing the screen, but the slides are not coming.
Ma'am,
You click
Pardon?
on folder.
Yeah, now. I think now you can see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it just
yes,
worked.
yes.
So, pardon me for that small glitch. We have with us today Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy. She is the medical director of the Eye Foundation, a chain of 14 eye hospitals in India. She's also the chairperson of the ARC of All India Ophthalmological Society, that means the Academic and Research Committee. She's also a management committee member of TNOA. She's highly proficient in cataract refractive surgery and glaucoma and a pioneer in refractive surgery. She's been performing refractive procedures since many years, inclusive of all the cutting edge technologies. And she has the special distinction of conducting innumerable instruction courses both in India and abroad. She has many papers to her credit. She's been member of the scientific committee of AIOS, and she has a lot of awards to her credit. If I start narrating them, all our time will go in that. So here's to Chitra. Now we start with our interview session. I think all of you are going to find it very interesting. I'm really looking forward to this one. So Chitra, welcome to this episode. And I think all our viewers would like to know from you, what was your childhood like?
Childhood was just like a childhood of most of us, amazing childhood where when I grew with my parents and my younger brother in all way in Patna in Bihar. So that's where I was born and brought up. And then my schooling and my medical college happened there itself. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Then how did you land up in Coimbatore?
Oh, that happened while I was in my final MBBS. That was a trend that parents felt that they should get their daughters married off young. I belong to an earlier generation than the present generation. So then Ramurthy was, we met him and he was doing his fellowship in Vittur Regna and Chakka Netralia. And then we met and then he said yes. And I completed my education and joined him at Coimbatore.
Wonderful. So, and I think it's been a long, long association. How many years is it now?
No, I didn't memorize it. Yeah. And we got married in 1986.
Okay. 84. Okay. So I'm very bad at mental maths. So I'm not going to start calculating it right now. I'd like to know what made you choose ophthalmology as a career?
See, it was so not possible to be anything else. And I was a very good student as a right through, and ophthalmology I got honors, and I quite liked that subject. But
Okay.
beyond that, at that point of time, your horizon is so wide. You think you could be a pediatrician today, you could think you could be a gynecologist today. But once I got married to Ramurthy, he very insidiously drilled it into me that ophthalmology was the only way to go. And it seems it's just the logical end of it, or the logical beginning to it.
I think he made you take the right path because he got him such a wonderful helping hand to look after the Eye Foundation group of hospitals. Otherwise, he would have had to take in someone else as a partner. So, who could be a better partner than your wife? So, I think he was very right in
Very
his decision.
at the younger age itself.
And yes, he, as you said, insidiously put it into your head that nothing could be better than ophthalmology. But I think you would agree with him today that nothing could be better than ophthalmology.
Yeah, I agree. True.
So, did you take off on your career path straight away, right after your marriage?
Yeah. Right after my marriage, I finished my final MBBS and my got a transfer from my house agency to Coimbatore, and it seemed so logical. Like I was a one man army for him, like one woman army. So it was necessary that I have to also evolve. But in the interim, I had little Shreyas was born, and so then but I couldn't. I was not in a position where I could take a break. It just slipped one into the other, and then it happened seamlessly.
No, and I think in those days, we never used to think of a career break because somehow we used to just keep on working. We had the children, but we kept on working, and it just happened. Now, if somebody to ask me to do it all over again, I don't know whether I could. But at that point of time, I think we just managed it. What I would want to know from you was, were you very ambitious right from your younger days?
Yeah, actually, I was very, very ambitious. There was absolutely nothing which I would not be involved in. Like I started my dance from the age of 7, and then I would be in the debates, I would be in the elocutions, I had to be the topper in class, I had to be in all the school one act plays, I had to get a lead role when I grew up, then the house captain and the class captain and everything. I was the best athlete. It was, I think those days, it was something like, even now, girls, everybody is phenomenal now, but those days our energies were so much into sports activities too, so you had to excel in that, and parents, you egged me on that I had to be a complete achiever. So there was nothing to stop me back, but that ambition was a very healthy ambition.
Yes.
There was nothing very selfish about me wanting to evolve. My best friends in school actually was a girl who used to compete with me to come first. My best friend in medical college was also a person who was on par with me. So we could have the best of friendships and yet compete with each other and do very well and share all our notes with each other. And
right.
It was a wonderful, very innocent upbringing. I think I owe a lot to my parents for having been there to allow me to grow in a very nice manner.
I was just going to say that a lot of the credit for that goes to your parents, because I think the kind of upbringing you had was fabulous, because they not only encouraged you to study, but I think you were an all-rounder, because as you said, you used to excel in debates, sports, everything. So that would put you in the category of being an all-rounder, which is what most parents want. And in those times, I think to have those kind of parents was a boon. I think we should consider ourselves very lucky that we had that kind of family, who used to encourage girls. They never used to think of us as girls. At least that has been my experience. We were children, we were studying. That's it. There was no girl and boy differentiation, even in my family. So, do you come from a family of doctors, but?
No. No, no, not at all. My father was a senior post in the government service, and my brother and I, we just individually were interested in taking up this profession. And believe me, right from the time I knew how to write my alphabets, what is your ambition? Is one standard school essay which will be there from the lower class to higher class. And
Right.
not once have I deviated into saying anything but that I wanted to be a doctor. So that kind, you know, and I was. It's not that my imagination was restricted. I could have written, if I were a prime minister, the kind of ambitions I had, you know, but then I had that intense loyalty to this. So it was always that. So the whole family accepted that I'll move on to this profession only.
Did motherhood change your tracks at all?
Yeah, actually, motherhood totally changed my tracks in the sense, when I was all about career and doing very well, and you know, there was some a college blue in my medical college or anything, the topmost distinctions which was possible at every point of time, I got along the way, thanks to God's blessings and support of my family and my dear friends. But when I had Shreyas, it suddenly everything went out into oblivion. It was like I had to spend time with this little boy. I had to, if at that point of time, if Ramurthy had not been very ambitious and, you know, had been not been very consistent in the growth profile or the growth plan he wanted for himself, and naturally I had to be in that scenario too. So, you know, if not for that, I might have just become a very happy housewife, been a great mother for my son and then to my daughter, and probably this would have been on the sidelines, I wonder, because I really missed not being a very complete mother. I was a complete mother, but I had to work too, you know, so it used to tear me apart those days.
Yeah, I think every working mother has this somewhere at the back of their minds that they're not doing justice to their children. But I think we are, you know, because I think our children see us growing. As they're growing, they see us working. They see us doing justice to our profession. And that plays a major role in their minds also. This has been my experience with my children, and I'm sure with yours. Now, since we have come to the children, I think let's just hear what Shreyas and Shrishti have to say about you. So I'd like to share a small video. So here we go. This is Shreyas first.
Hello, everyone. Today, it's my proud privilege to say a few words about my Amma, or who's now more popularly known as Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy. Women in general, I think, have to maintain a far greater balance than what men have to do right through their lives, be it family, personal, professional careers. It's the balancing act goes on right through their life. And Amma has been an epitome of that balance. Right from the early days when I was a small kid and she was pursuing her postgraduate studies. Subsequently, while maintaining a home, maintaining our children, but at the same time, having an extremely active professional career. Way back when we were young children, I think Amma, along with Appa, took a big gamble in taking on a large refractive surgery investment at that point of time in their fledgling career. And she worked with such panache and was greatly instrumental in making it a success. And that kind of passion has been reminiscent right through her career. Whatever job she has undertaken, be it in the way she has taken Eye Foundation forwards, and more recently with becoming chairman of academic and research committee of the AIOS. It's not just about getting to that pedestal, but it's the hard work that she puts in to reach that pedestal, as well as the continued hard work that she puts in to ensure that the quality is maintained right through, whether it is in work or personal life or in ARC. It's really been my privilege, pleasure, and overall I must thank God for Amma and for having been a constant source of energy in our lives, being there whenever we required her, being there, her support was always there. And I really look forward to the years ahead where we would continue to receive her support and her guidance. And at the same time, seeing as she enters possibly her twilight years of her professional career, where she is going to take AIOS to the next level altogether. And my best wishes to her. And thank you so much for everything that you've done for us all through these years, Amma. Thank you.
Now, that I think was wonderful. I think there cannot be anything better than hearing praise from your own children. It makes your heart swell with pride, I think. So I can just imagine what
has always been my best friend. I never expected him to. I mean, I never even thought what he would say when you had asked for that video clip, and it was getting an ultimate tribute in life. Yeah.
Really, I think it couldn't get better than this. Yeah. So after how many years was Shrishti born after Shreyas?
Shrishti was born 7 years after Shreyas.
So, big gap.
Yeah, that was a big gap. Yeah.
So were you debating about having a second child?
I felt that I may not be doing justice with my intense involvement in my work, that I had my parents living nearby and my father-in-law also shifted over. So I had elders, which is, they are literally the main support system which you have. And if you continue to respect that, you can really go a long way in life. Allow them to do what they want, and they would do the best because they've brought you well. And why wouldn't they not do so? And then I thought, Shreya, she's fine, I'll just have one kid. And would you believe it? I actually saw him pray in the front of God, something like, he may not remember, he was a tiny boy he was, that he wished he had a sister, and my maidservant was also there with me. So, it just struck me that children want to have a sibling, so that the family becomes a more joyous family.
Absolutely. Whether it's 2 girls, 2 boys, or as in my case, 3 boys, but I think they need siblings. At every point of time in your life, you need the support of your family, because ultimately it's all about family. So now let's hear what Shrishti has to say about you.
Hello, everyone. Truly appreciate this opportunity to talk on mom. As a daughter, there's this tendency to take my role as mom's biggest critic a little too seriously. So this is a welcome change. Amma approaches every aspect of her life with utmost passion, and the energy she brings to the people around her is something else. She has this knack of putting a positive spin on absolutely anything, and truly brings out the best in everyone. From being a doting mother, a brilliant surgeon, the medical director of I Foundation, and now the chairman ARC, Amma has always been juggling multiple roles. And all that she undertakes, it is with utmost perfection and attention to detail. It really must be exhausting, and only she can make doing all of that look easy. She's an inspiration to me and possibly all young women out there, and it's wonderful to see her being recognized for her many achievements. In the years to come, it would be nice to see her shift gears and maybe relax a little. We all know that's not going to happen. So here's to you, Amma, as you continue to amaze us and scale new frontiers.
How nice could that be? She said something about being your biggest critic. Was that true?
Yeah, I think daughters are,
Yes.
In a very affectionate, and she's a girl who's very sure about herself, like Shreya, she's a different kind of a boy. Even if he thinks something, he would put it across in a different fashion. But the daughters are different. I think they are like that all over. All the daughters, she'll be right to the point, Aman, no, I think this is the way it has to be. And this is the way I want to lead my life. So, so it is a learning process, bringing each child of yours up, and both lovable children they have been. And I've never had a moment to wish they could do better. They were always so ambitious and going strong. In fact, I used to feel at different times that I was living my dreams through them, actually. So it was so nice.
And the fact that they're so proud of you, I don't think there can be a better tribute for a mother than to have her children say that they're proud of her. It would make one feel as if life has been successful. Life has given you what you really wanted. And I agree with you over there. I think second children are very sure of themselves, unlike the first ones. First ones maybe get a little more pampered, which I'm sure Shreyas also, no?
No. The first one actually struggles along with you when you are evolving in your career and growing, and he knows what the mother has been doing to, do multiple things at the same time. And if you have the second one after a little gap, by the time you are a lot more settled and very organized in your life, and the mother, father, and the eldest child, actually they pamper the second child.
Yes, that's also true. I think with the first child, you yourself are in a learning phase because you don't know anything about motherhood. It's your first time, and you are kind of, experimenting with things, listening to what people tell you, and then just seeing what to do, what not to do. So, what was your husband's role in your growing process?
I think I was truly lucky. We were talking about children, and I not a day has gone by without me thinking how lucky I was to have the amazing kids. And I think every mother would feel that there's nothing special or unique about what I felt. But my husband was truly a unique person to know. Like he was very ambitious. He wanted all the things the right way, had that level of impatience and that urge with an entrepreneur would have. And incidentally, I was there with him from the beginning of his, when his business started. And of course, I was also ambitious. And for early days, it was like me helping him out to evolve in his ambition. And somewhere along the line, as it happened, like it was always very important for me that he should do very well. But, if not for him, he ensured that while I was concerned that he should do well, he ensured that I went along with him and did all the things which was necessary for me to evolve. Because that complete compassion which comes into the work there is some amount of recognition which also happens. As a wife and a very intensely loyal wife, for me, it only mattered that he did very well. But and God's blessings and Ramurthy's leadership role, that he ensured that I grew equally well along with him. There was no new surgery which he would learn, which he would ensure that I learned too. That of course I would be the next to learn. That was okay about it. But that he ensured that I grew along. So he had a very pivotal role in my life.
Yes.
If what I am today, I owe to him and my parents for the support they gave me to bring up my children for me.
It takes a very secure and confident man to allow his wife to grow. Only a person like that, this is what I feel personally, that only a man who's very secure in himself, he has no insecurities about himself, will allow his wife to grow along with him. Because most of the time in India, we find that men are not like that. No, you don't get these kind of men really. So since we are on the topic of Dr. Ramamurthy, and I'll tell you a small incident after we hear his video, what he has to say about you. He probably would never say this to your face, and never praise you on your face, but just listen to what he has to say. It was an eye-opener for me.
When you spend a lifetime with a person, it's a little difficult to condense it down in a couple of minutes, especially if it is Chitra, who is a perfectionist and passionate about everything she does. And neither will she settle for anything else from people close to her.
She came into my life as a 22-year-old medico and has been an integral part of every bit of my personal and professional life since then. I've heard about her infectious enthusiasm to be a topper in everything she took up in school and college, be it in studies, debates, sports, or rowing across the Ganges. That spirit has sustained and stayed with her till today, with a no-compromise commitment to settle for nothing but the best. Be it a single-minded dedication to the children, devotion to the family, managing the house flawlessly, giving her best in the clinic, adapting and excelling in US surgeries, conducting weddings or professional conferences. It all comes to her naturally. After years of a very busy and fulfilling life, when most would contemplate taking it easy, she has found a calling in a responsibility as Chairman ARC in Airways, which she is carrying out with a trademark panache and passion. It is said that for every mother, her child is the perfect one, and for every man, the neighbor's wife is the perfect one. Does it mean I am an exception and blessed with a perfect wife? When you have to deal with a lady of strong beliefs and character, there is some amount of control and contradictions that come with it. Chitra has been a sounding board for me for every decision I have taken in my life, giving her opinion and advice with characteristic conviction. Suffice it to say that if I had to live my life all over again, I would have wished for no one else as a life partner. Did I say more? I just love the package as a whole. Thank you, Chitra, for everything.
As he rightly said, does he need to say more? He has said so much about you, Chitra. I think it's simply marvelous, the way he spoke about you. And I just wanted to tell you a small incident about him. He was Chairman Scientific Committee of AIOS, and I was desperately trying to get my instruction course accepted. I'd been trying since before he became the chairman, and then when he became the chairman. And when I got rejected, I was furious, and I sent him an email. What does it take to get an instruction course accepted in AIOS? I was so mad. And to my surprise, he answered me back. He emailed me back that there are these criteria which need to be fulfilled. It is not I who decide. It goes to judges who evaluate it. And then I have felt so bad that I had been so rude to him. How could I do that? But I don't think he's ever held it against me. He's always been so courteous whenever we meet, but I cannot forget that incident that I mailed him like that. So do you think there was any defining moment in your life that you can think of?
Defining moment. I don't know why this thought comes to me. I was in my third standard in school, and my brother is a year younger to me. He was in the second standard. My father was very, very ambitious about us. I don't know whether I was ambitious or he was ambitious. He wanted me to do everything at the same time, and I wanted to do everything at the same time too. So when I was in third standard, and he made us enact the court scene of Merchant of Venice. And I was Shylock, and my brother was Portia, because my brother was a good-looking young boy, and so he made him the Portia, and there was more aggression in me, which Shylock needed to have. So he made us do it, and would you believe it? It was a 1 hour, 1 act play. Exact dialogues were uttered. And even that my pound of flesh and the way I got vicious about it and the way I did it, you won't believe there was some 450, 500 people in this entire auditorium. It was a lovely auditorium. And when that dramatic end came to that play, they all got up and said, encore, encore, And then they forced her to enact that main scene in the whole that court scene, that main part they wanted to enact us. You won't believe that feeling was so heady at that moment, the kind of cheer which I got at such a young age,
I can imagine.
and then, I realized that there was so much power. Like I could communicate across to people in a very strong manner. And then that sort of, that it became important that I capture my audience, and then I went into oratoricals and lot into the college plays and school plays and many more things, inter-college functions and everything, because, I found I enjoyed that podium presence and the strength it came. So that's one defining moment. And the most major, I just cannot not say, the major defining moment is when I met Ramamurthy, because he actually took over my life and he led it way. Like I followed track with him, of course, with my intentions of doing my best to the society, my best to my profession, and be the best mother and the best wife. For me, it had to be all in superlative terms, but he actually was there as a guiding force. Sometimes it would be like a school principal to me. Sometimes it was like working with a boss. It wasn't a bed of roses all the time at all. There were differences of opinions, and he had very strong convictions. And on hindsight, his convictions were right, because I always wanted to take a little backseat at times because I wanted to be more with the children. But then today, if I am what I am, I think I owe to him. So I don't think meeting him was actually the main defining moment of my life.
Yes. And I think actually, once you go on the stage and you get that heady feeling, as you said, you lose stage fright. You have no stage fright after that. So those of us who have been exposed to audiences and to going on stage from an early age, I think we've been blessed. We are very fortunate to have had experiences like that, because many people don't have those kind of experiences and they suffer from stage fright a lot. I still have a couple of my colleagues. You will not believe that when I was chairperson of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, I wanted to give my own people in Aurangabad, especially the girls, a chance to, go in front of audience, to speak, to have a talk, a scientific talk. And one of the girls I asked, what would you like to have as your topic? She said, ma'am, ask me to do anything but go on stage. I don't know, what nonsense. She said, no, ma'am, I just cannot. I would die of fright on the stage. So, I think we owe it to our parents, to our schools, who inculcated that absence of stage fright in us by making us participate in all this.
School has a very big role.
School has a very big role. So do your parents. And then I think it comes from within also, partly from within. So when did you decide on taking up leadership roles in society?
It was essentially in me. Like I was always the class monitor or the class captain from my second class or first class, and it evolved as I became the captain, the vice captain, and different things as it happened. All that happened. So it was all inherent in me to be a leader, where even if it was playing kabaddi or gulli danda, or going and playing a cricket match with my brother's friends. So, I had to get the maximum runs, I was a mad person, as if there was a constant adrenaline surge in me. Like that I was. And then, but then I got too involved with my work and my family, and it was just that work and then get back home to my children. Of course, I did have friends along the way, but it was my children were my focus. So, and that time, Ramamurthy, suddenly he got into this leadership role, became chairman scientific committee for 2 terms, and then went on to vice president and president. I appreciated his evolving, growing, his personality evolution, everything I did appreciate. But there was absolutely no thought. But I don't know, must have been an underlying admiration of what I cannot decipher at all. I actually don't know what was that point when I decided to stand for that post of member scientific committee. And then anyway, I was traveling to all places for different meetings, was invited everywhere. So I did have a lot of friends in different parts. But then I don't know how I stood for this election suddenly, and the travel and everything, and meeting so many people, and the joy, the absolute joy of it. And my family was also not needing me so much at that point of time. So, I think it just one came into the other. So it wasn't concrete plan. It was just a passion, which just led me forward, and it continues to lead me forward. Like, as if it's now ARC has become like my baby for me. You want,
Yes.
I would kill myself for it, but I had to do well in my work. And at the end of the day, I would sit with this, and I would want every webinar of mine to be so ultimate, and my speakers top class. I have only superlative things to say about the whole experience, when I was a member scientific committee under Dr. Lalit Verma, who was such an amazing leader for us, and how he very gently brought us up and gave us all our importance, and how we became good. And then this ARC, and the kind of support, and the attendees watching, and the kind of appreciation and the joy. I have no words to tell you. Like, it wasn't planned. Till Ramamurthy finished his thing, I had never even told him that I want to do this. Never even told him once in 10 years that I wanted to do it, because I never felt it. At that time, I was busy with my kids around the home, and that was my priority. But gradually they moved on for the education beyond Coimbatore. So then I think it seemed inevitable to move on to this.
But it couldn't have been easy, I think. Even, becoming member of the scientific committee of AIOS, it can't have been easy, because it takes a lot of traveling, canvassing. You have to meet a lot of people. But as you said, you were already doing all that in any case. So, and I think, of course, having Dr. Ramamurthy by your side was a big booster for you.
But I don't think he was very clear about wanting me to take this path. He wasn't very clear about it. He wasn't against it. He wouldn't be. I mean, he had the kind of, his innate nature was to encourage people around him to grow too. I mean,
yes.
But he felt that I could, had done enough in my life, and I could enjoy my life. I love reading books. He felt I could travel, I could do things. But then this became an absolute core of my existence. If you would believe it, ARC has taken a center stage in my life, and I truly have enjoyed it. But there was so much of traveling involved. The amount the husband adjusts, I mean, it is amazing. If Namrata is where she is, or what little I have done, or any other woman who has done, you have to give credit to the family. In of all this traveling, my daughter got married, the earlier bit, my son got married, and all those things were also happening, and relatives and everything. And you keep taking your bag and traveling every weekend, which nearly every weekend I was traveling.
Yes, so you have to.
You start compartmentalizing your life. During the week for your family, and the end part for your personal ambitions. And is that necessary? I don't know. But definitely it helped me to evolve, to become a better person, a more self-confident person, and I think a nicer person too.
Yes, of course. And, when you have succeeded in doing a good job of what you have taken on, there can't be a more satisfied feeling than that for a woman particularly. Because as you said, we have to juggle a lot of roles. It's not like men who are totally focused on their career. They don't need to bother that much about the home, the family, the kitchen, what food is being put on the table. Nothing like that.
I had months going without a cook and servants, and I have done everything possible in my life, like most women have. This is nothing special or unique. But every one of us, women who have achieved anything, we should actually pat our backs for the kind of things we have accommodated and gone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I always say that from my side, it's a hats off to all the professional women out there who are managing their families as well as their jobs, as well as their professions beautifully. And beautifully, because, as Dr. Ramamurthy said, you are a perfectionist. Most of us who are professionals and want to achieve something in our lives are perfectionist. And because of that, we get pulled in different ways. Because if we are cooking something, we want it to be the best. If we are rearing a child, we want to be the best possible mother. So, it's not easy, but we do it. We do it because we have that, I call it a kida. We have that kida inside us, telling us, no, you must do this, you must go on and do this. At the same time, I think having some me time for yourself and having a great set of friends is a big boon. And I'm sure you must be having your own, group of friends who have been your support system. So if you don't mind, we'll hear one of them say something about you.
Hello. I have been given this really pleasurable task of describing my really, really very good friend, Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy. I must really thank God that in the course of my life, I have come across, or I have been lucky enough to befriend such a beautiful human being. She multitasks with ease. She carries huge burdens on her shoulders so effortlessly. Why? Because those shoulders, she is so particular to keep healthy and strong. Her focus on keeping herself healthy, on focus on keeping herself fit, both physically and mentally, is amazing. The warmth with which she deals with people, the level of investment she has in people, in her surroundings, in her profession is something to be really appreciated, and many leaves have to be taken from her book. There's this particular incident that just comes to me. It was Shrishti's wedding, and she had some commitment with the elections to the office she's holding now as the scientific committee head or something in ophthalmology. She quietly said, no, this has to go on parallelly. Many of us we said, how are you going to handle, how are you going to juggle this? But no, she did both with equal ease, came out with flying colors, both there, and she was an awesome mom. She never let Srishti down. She was there for Srishti when it mattered. So that, in a nutshell, describes how she wears these many, many hats. She is a wonderful wife. She is an amazing mom to two brilliant children and their spouses, a newly minted grandmother, and above all, the Coimbator's much loved Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy. I am so, so glad that she chose me among her many friends to talk about her, because most of the people who talk about her will have only copious amounts of praise, and that comes really from the bottom of our heart, because knowing Chitra has been a very, very, very good and a beautiful.
Sorry. So that was lovely to hear. And as she said, you've been juggling so many roles and doing it all at the same time. And I'm sure your friends have learned a lot from you, and as you have from them also, I'm sure. Because, I always say that for every woman, me time, as I call it, the time for yourself that you take out from your daily routine is very important. And I think that goes for every woman, because normally we tend to get so involved in our families and our work that we forget to take out time for ourselves. But we need to. We always should remember. And Indian women traditionally have been taught to take a back seat, which has got to change now, I think. We need to take a parallel seat. I won't say a front seat, but we should be parallel with the rest of the family. Why should you take a back seat when you can do so much more? So hearing what your friend had to say was an eye opener, because friends are your biggest critic also. And I'm sure, as the way you are loved by your family, your friends, I'm sure you're very much admired by your colleagues as well. So let's hear one of your colleagues talk about you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Consultant from the Eye Foundation. Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy, our favorite CRM. She's a great boss, teacher, mentor, and a guide. Above all, she's a super friendly human being. To work under someone with leadership skill like hers is an incredible experience. Every one of us will be awestruck the way in which the ARC webinars are executed. Words neither qualify nor quantify the hard work and the meticulous planning she does behind all these webinars. She always inspires others to learn more, do more, and become more. I've learned a lot from her, and this has helped to shape my professional career. She's so supportive, she takes care of each and every employee of hers, even outside of the work too. I've learned about the work-life balance from her, which she does so effortlessly. Her positivity, smile, and enthusiasm all are contagious. I love how she makes the workplace so exciting. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with her, and I wish many more years to come. I take this opportunity to offer my gratitude and wish her all happiness, health, and success in the years to come. Thank you.
So just listen to that. When your colleagues say good things about you, it points to what a good boss you are. I would say boss, because I think you take them along with you. So they don't really feel that you are a boss, but you consider them your colleagues. So that shows a lot about the person. Because sometimes when you are in a position where you can dominate others, you tend to throw your weight around, but which is not really the right thing to do, because then at the end of the day, at that point of time, they may not say anything, but once they leave your institute, then they would definitely be saying things about you. But when you hear praise for what you've done for them after they leave you, it really goes to say a lot about you as a person. I would like to know, Chitra, what would be your advice to the young lady ophthalmologists of today's generation?
I think every woman is very intelligent. The fact that the woman is a special person because she leaves her own family, which she loves, and enters a new family, and she ensures that the entire family loves her. And that is the woman, and that is the dynamism inherent in every woman from ages, from decades earlier on. So who am I to tell a young woman ophthalmologist as what she should do? She should, I think I would advise her to love herself also as much as she's going to love others. It's a statement that she's going to love others, but she should love herself. And if she loves herself, then she will definitely seek what she wants. Now, what I did or wanted or what happened in my life is definitely not at all a rule book which everybody should follow. Everybody has their own life which they want to carve for themselves. They need to be, I would wish them to be so very happy. I would wish that they have so much of positivity in them. They do not feel jealous or competitive, or none of the negative feelings should come into them. It actually erodes your system. It stalls your growth. It stops you somewhere. So if you move that out, and in fact, I would tell you, she should not even expect from a husband. She should not expect from her children. She should accept that she is going to give her best to everything which she does. And if this young woman ophthalmologist, any one of them hearing it, learn that bit from me and to make themselves very happy and giving their best to themselves and to the community and surrounds, I think they would be winner at whichever level they are.
Absolutely true. And you took the words from my mouth. I always tell people these words: love yourself first. Yeah. Because only if you love yourself can you love others. If a person doesn't love herself, then how can you expect people to love you? Because you're not confident in yourself. Then how can you project that outside, that positivity outside? It's only when you are very comfortable in your own skin, is what I always tell my younger female colleagues, that first of all, love yourself. And that's why as I've said this earlier also in many webinars, I love that statement by Kareena Kapoor in Jab We Met, कि मैं खुद की बहुत favorite हूँ. I love myself. I like it so much because it absolutely goes with my philosophy of life. And with yours too. I was so amazed to hear you say that. I felt as if, it's a reflection of myself coming out. So nice to hear that. And I think that is the basic fundamental thing which every human being needs to learn, to love themselves first. Because then automatically you will love others and be loved by them. So what do you think about ophthalmology as a good career choice for girls? Earlier it used to be because of the hours and everything, and I still feel it is. But what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think I sincerely think that ophthalmology is a very good subject for the woman to come up in life. Of course, there are a lot of surgical learning which has to come along the way, and opportunities doesn't knock on everybody's doors in the same magnitude. But having said that, at least those crazy night duties and night shifts and those things are not there. So
Right.
once your family is organized and your husband is along with you, you can take your time. There is no urgency, because imagine, I had my younger days, I had a middle life when I wanted to be a mother and concentrated on that and doing a 50-50 job or 75-25 job or whichever, and then could get intense. And now I want to go into an ophthalmic society. So there is different levels in your life. So you could bid your time, need not be too rushed to achieve it all in one go, because if
Absolutely.
you're open to the thought that you have this as an objective, it will all fall into place.
Yes, you absolutely.
And ophthalmology definitely helps you along. That's why we have so many more ophthalmologists as women.
Yes.
Majority of the medical colleges, I don't know whether it's 3/4, 1/4 or 4/5, 1/5. That is how it's evolving now.
Yes, more women are getting into it. More and more women. In fact, the men are beginning to feel slightly insecure that too many women are coming into it.
Genetically, men will never feel insecure. So let's not trust impressions on them. They're absolutely secure where they are.
Yeah, but they are saying that, the ratio in medical colleges, in ophthalmology, you will find in a residency program, there are more girls than boys coming in. So girls are definitely seeing it as a very good career option, which it always was. I think it always was. I always felt it was the best thing that could have happened in my life, at least. I wouldn't change it. Suppose you had your life to live all over again. Would you change anything? Would you want to change anything in it?
Yeah, I feel, if I were to live my life all over again, I might have taken a break when my son was born. I might have taken a break again when my daughter was born, or maybe a year or two. Because, I do feel, as I see my granddaughter growing, I feel that it wasn't that I didn't have time for them. I mean, I knew what morsel of food was going into their mouth and everything I knew. But then I was not with them through all those learning processes. And I wish the young ophthalmologists, if they can, if their career allows, if opportunity allows, they should not lose out on opportunity. But if there is a setback when you have to be with your baby, enjoy it, because there's nothing like an amazing motherhood, because that is the best gift a woman can get. And if she could enjoy that and then move on with her life, she has not lost out ever at all, is what I believe.
Absolutely. I think I totally agree with you. And it's an important message to go out to all the female ophthalmologists out there who might be listening in to this program, that things happen in their own time and we can afford to take some time off. There's no rush that you have to reach a particular stage at a particular time. Everybody's life takes its own journey, and we evolve as life goes on, I think life itself teaches you a lot as we go along. So we don't need to really learn from anybody, but then having inspiring people like you come on this series of webinars really teaches the young lot a lot of things. I've learned a lot from you today because hearing about your experiences, everybody's experiences are different, but everybody has to go through them themselves and learn from them themselves. But they can pass on that message to the younger generation of what it was like, what maybe they could have done better at one point of time, or do they feel satisfied with the way it worked out. So I think it's been a absolutely fabulous interview with you, Chitra. And before we end this, I would like to tell the audience that Chitra was so involved with this webinar. Since I told her a month back that we are going to have this, she has been involved in it totally, sending me questions, the videos. She's done it all. I just had to put it all together. That was all that I did. But she was right there every time. We would call up, we would talk to each other. And I think in the process, we have come to know each other a bit more. For me, earlier, she was Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy, ARC chairperson. But now, I think we have got started on the journey of becoming friends, possibly. So I thank you a lot, Chitra, for this wonderful interview and for your inputs in it, which were amazing. And I would like to thank Centaur for giving us this platform. I think this series has been my dream since the past 1 year. And now that it is finally coming true, I couldn't want anything more than this. So Mitali, I would like to thank you and Centaur for arranging this for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the stage is all yours. You can please show what you want.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So first of all, that everyone has spoken about Dr. Chitra. I know her, even though as Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy, as you said, I know her since I have come into the ophthalmology profession and pharma field. But last 3 days, the way I know Madam is completely goes along with what Dr. Ramamurthy says and her son and daughters, that she wants the best. Every piece of video, every piece of questions, she wants it to be perfect. And I completely agree, ma'am. It is so nice to know you, and it really what would be your best gift to a mother than the children talking like that and sir talking about you. That he's an exception. I like that joke that he cracked at the end. She's exception, and it is really great, ma'am. And I'm really happy that at the platform as Centaur, we always been supportive to the quality of the product, the platform to disseminate knowledge across the young generation of ophthalmologists. But here, this new platform where we get to know the ophthalmologists, the senior ophthalmologists, their journey. Definitely, it will inspire, like you said, the young lady ophthalmologists as they're going ahead in career. So I'll just take 1 minute here, ma'am, to share my company, showcase my company, how we are and what we are. Just allow me to share my screen.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. It had come on, Mitali. It has gone. It had come, but it's gone. Yeah, just go to slideshow.
Yes,
Go to slideshow. Yes.
Centaur has global footprints in 126 countries. Centaur is fourth largest pharmaceutical company in ophthalmological prescriptions. Centaur Pharmaceuticals has leveraged synergies from its fully integrated operations by conducting clinical trials and manufacturing the API. Our 50-bedded CRO, manufacturing plants, and R&D facilities have successfully completed 25 stringent global regulatory inspections, including 15 by US FDA. All US FDA inspections that happened in recent past in 2019 had NEL 483 observations, a rare feat in itself. We have global accreditations from stringent regulatory authorities including US FDA, UK MHRA and ANSM France. Our Occupol range is the #1 brand in ophthalmic anti-infective prescriptions. Centaur has complete presence in ophthalmology covering all therapies. In anti-infective range, Occupol, Occupol DX, Centiflox. In anti-allergic range, Occurist, Occurist AH, Occurist Plus, Beforest. In dry eye range, Heal Tears, Relube, Relube DS. In anti-glaucoma range, Brimopress T, Brimopress LS, Glucotim LA. ARMD, Ocubliss. And NSAID, Napacin. Centaur is proud to introduce yet another quality product in anti-glaucoma portfolio. Travopta, the dependable travoprost with preservative-free advantage. Travopta, first time in India. Daily dose tracker on pack. Centaur has successful journey in ophthalmology for more than 30 years and counting. Eyes are beautiful. You keep them so. Centaur commits support.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again. So it was really nice. I think all of our viewers must have enjoyed this session. The perfect moderation by Dr. Malik and perfect storyline of Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy. Best can happen. And in true sense, ma'am, extraordinary. Both extraordinary speakers and moderators are here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mithali. You are an extraordinary.
That's amazing. You know, I did not just get a friend, but this opportunity to be here and talk to her. And then more importantly, through her, I got to hear my son, daughter, and husband say things about me. Like they wouldn't have said this on my face at all. So
absolutely.
It was like this day was an ultimate tribute for me as being a mother and a wife to my husband. Yeah, it was wonderful. Thanks, Dr. Sunega. From the depth of my heart, your moderation was fantastic, fantabulous.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I really appreciated your inputs. You were so involved in the whole thing. Otherwise, it couldn't have been so good, you know. Chitra, you made it happen. You made it so good because you gave me so much to talk about, really. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this wonderful session. I think this will come as one of our best ones, I think, in the whole series. So once again, thank you. Thank you, Mithali and Centaur, and we'll meet again soon. Bye. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Good night, ma'am. Good night.